Today's incident review comes out of Columbus, Ohio, in a officer-involved shooting that occurred on February the 7th of 2024, which occurred on a Wednesday. This incident occurred at East Dublin, Granville Road, known as Route 161, and Huntley and Sinclair Roads on the north side of Columbus. The involved officer serves with the Columbus Division of Police and holds the rank of sergeant. The involved sergeant was armed with a Smith & Wesson M&P 9 2.0 9mm handgun, which is the standard sidearm of all uniformed Columbus Division of Police officers. In this incident, the female suspect was driving a stolen 2015 dark blue Toyota Corolla. Some news reports incorrectly stated that it was a Camry. However, the vehicle, in fact, was a 2015 Corolla, not a Camry. Prior to the use of force incident, the vehicle was actually stolen, and law enforcement was notified when the owner happened to spot his vehicle, which was stolen, driving on the road, and that is when he notified law enforcement, and they attempted a felony traffic stop at a gas station. However, the female suspect refused and fled in the vehicle, causing a pursuit, and ultimately leading up to the officer-involved shooting. In accordance to Ohio Revised Penal Code Section 2913.02, under Section 5, if the property is a motor vehicle, a violation of this section is grand theft of a motor vehicle, a felony of the 4th degree. Due to the graphic nature of the body cam, viewer discretion is advised.
Stop the car!
Show 5 to those officers.
Stop the car!
Turn around and get in your car and go away. Shot fired now, an officer ran over 10-3, 10-3.
That was the footage of the officer-involved shooting. I am now going to show the same footage, but a longer version showing what led up to the shooting and the after effects once the officer got up. And then we'll discuss the use of force policy and if the officer's decision was justified or not.
Stop the car!
Show 5 to those officers.
Stop the car!
Turn around and get in your car and go away. Shot fired now, an officer ran over 10-3, 10-3. Ran over by the car, shots have been fired.
I copy 10-3, officer ran over. Shots fired.
Advise Worthington, advise Channel 4, we're going to need some intersection shut down.
I copy.
According to the Columbus Division of Police, utilization of deadly force, Section 3 of that states, sworn personnel should avoid positioning themselves in the direct path of a moving vehicle. Section A, sworn personnel in the direct path of a moving vehicle should attempt to take evasive action to avoid being struck by the vehicle. Section B states, sworn personnel may only fire a weapon at the driver or occupant of a moving vehicle when there is articulable, reasonable belief that the subject poses an immediate threat of death or serious physical harm to himself, herself, or others. In my opinion, I think the officer was within policy, and here's why I think so. The policy states, I'll read it again, sworn personnel should avoid positioning themselves in the direct path. When the officer initially made contact with the blue vehicle, like before he got struck, the car was driving in reverse away from him. So he wasn't in the direct path, because if he was in the direct path, he would have been behind the car while it was reversing. But he was in front as the car was moving away. She then comes to a stop, puts the car in drive, and then proceeds to drive forward without very little warning. And I don't think he had enough time to take evasive action to get out of the way of the vehicle. And by the time he was on the hood of the car, that is when the officer, had a subject who was then posing, a threat to his life as he was on the hood of the car. The female subject could have kept the vehicle in reverse in their attempt to escape law enforcement. However, she put the car into drive, knowing that there was an officer in front of her car with a firearm. So she knowingly put the car into drive and purposely struck the officer with her vehicle, which that is considered assault with a deadly weapon, which then justifies the utilization of deadly force. At the time of this video, the Ohio Attorney General's Office, Bureau of Criminal Investigation, is conducting the investigation into this officer-involved shooting. Following this, they will present their findings to the Hamilton County District Attorney's Office. The Hamilton County District Attorney's Office is going to then review the findings that were provided to them by the BCI and will then determine if they are going to file charges against the sergeant in this incident. However, given that this was a non-fatal officer-involved shooting and that the officer was put in a life-threatening situation, I do not see them filing any charges in this case. The Columbus Division of Police is also going to conduct an investigation, albeit an internal investigation, to determine if policies and procedures were followed by the sergeant in this incident. Following the review of the actions of the sergeant, they will then determine if he should be punished and or not punished and put back on regular duty. Given the circumstances of this situation, I do not see them doing any sort of disciplinary action against the sergeant besides the standardized, administrative leave pending the outcome of the investigation. So he'll be on modified assignment for a little bit. I'm going to replay the incident again just to show the vehicle reversing and then the events that followed thereafter with the officer-involved shooting.
Stop the car!
Show 5 to those officers.
As you can see in that footage, the vehicle was traveling in reverse, and there was nothing blocking it from continuing in reverse. And you can also note that the sergeant was never in direct path of the vehicle.
Stop the car!
Show 5 to those officers.
Stop the car!
Turn around and get in your car. Away. Shots fired. Now an officer ran over. 10-3, 10-3.
That being said, obviously you can critique the officer for putting himself in a position where he could be in the possible path of a vehicle. That's perfectly understandable if you have that viewpoint. But I am not going to defend the behavior of the felony suspect who put a car in drive and struck an officer with the vehicle during the commission of a felony crime, which was the grand theft auto of a motor vehicle, as well as the fleeing from law enforcement and putting numerous members of the public at risk. Again, thank you for watching the video, and have a good rest of your day.